Welcome to Cobotalks, where we shape the future of human-robot collaboration. Cobotalks is a monthly seminar series held on the second Wednesday of each month, bringing together leading researchers, innovators, and professionals to exchange insights and advancements in the field of collaborative robotics. Since its inception, Cobotalks has featured 50-plus experts, showcasing how intelligent robots enhance human capabilities, productivity, and key sectors like healthcare, agriculture, defense, and industry. This initiative is brought to you by IHFC, the Technology Innovation Hub of IIT Delhi, the Center of Excellence, in collaboration with BIRD, and the Cognitive Science Program at IIT Delhi's Department of Humanities and Social Sciences. The iHub Foundation for Robotics, IHFC, the Technology Innovation Hub of IIT Delhi, established under the National Mission on Interdisciplinary Cyber-Physical Systems, NMICPS, by the Department of Science and Technology, DST, Government of India. It was launched in June 2020. IHFC operates across 4 key verticals: research and development, education and training, startups and entrepreneurship, and international collaboration, fostering technology commercialization and building global partnerships with academia, industry, and government. In application, IHFC works in advancing collaborative robotics in medical and healthcare, agriculture, industry, and defense, leading initiatives like drone swarming and medical cobotics to enhance human-robot collaboration for real-world impact. IHFC has partnered with 10 institutes nationwide to establish co-innovation centers, empowering students and entrepreneurs in robotics, AI, ML, and IoT to develop innovative solutions and high-impact startups. Aligned with the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, for a Viksit Bharat and Atmanirbhar Bharat, these centers foster deep tech R&D, skill development, and creative problem-solving, equipping India's youth to drive technological advancements and compete globally. IHFC's mission is to create a world-class ecosystem for innovation, bridging research and practical applications to enhance human-robot collaboration for societal benefit. BIRD, IIT Delhi's Center of Excellence in Biologically Inspired Robots and Drones, is a leading hub for interdisciplinary robotics research. Founded through the Program for Autonomous Robotics, in 2010, it develops intelligent, sustainable robotic systems and has been instrumental in establishing the Robotics Society of India and the Interdisciplinary Specialization in Robotics, IDSR. BIRD consists of 27 members and has produced more than 150 publications over its 10 years of operation, working on 10-plus industrial and academic projects. The Cognitive Science Program at IIT Delhi offers an interdisciplinary approach to studying the human mind, integrating diverse theories and methods. It prepares students for careers in academia, industry, research, brain sciences, and human-machine interaction, leading the way in human-robot collaboration space. Join us for an exciting interaction session, second Wednesday of every month.
Yes, can we also have the About IHFC video, please?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there's a little delay with the video. Could you in the meanwhile introduce the speaker?
Yeah, okay, fine, no problem. Just cue in the video because the minute I shall complete speaking, I'll ask to play the IHFC video, and then after the IHFC video, we'll hand it over to Suraj. So till then, just cue it.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, the issue is solved, ma'am. I'm just playing it. Okay.
Okay, please do.
Cobotalks means collaborative robotics, where Robotics means collaborative robotics, where human beings and robot work together.
We work on technologies of the future. We look at ways in which these technologies will actually get deployed.
We are trying to build an ecosystem here. When we talk about ecosystem, it starts from the kind of research capabilities that we are able to build. How is that we are able to instill the sense of commercialization in all those activities? When we talk about research, it's not only papers or publications.
So we have chosen four major thrust areas, we may call it. One is called the medical robotics. The second is the defense robotics. Third is the agriculture robotics. And fourth is the industry 4.0 or industry 5.0.
The mission of IHFC and the mission of IIT Delhi, there's a lot of synergy. And so we are treating IHFC as an extension of the things that we anyway want to do. The first goal of success would be creating an impact in society through some value add in terms of technologies and ideas.
I would definitely want IHFC to make an impact, an impact wherein we see indigenous products being developed, wherein we see our ecosystem coming together to see that we as an entity, we as a country, we as an ecosystem are able to build products on our own. So we should have export-oriented products being developed with whatever research capabilities we have, and that is what we want to do as a part of IHFC.
Thank you, everyone. Very good evening to all of you, and welcome to this wonderful special edition of Cobotalks. It's our 51st session, and it gives me great pleasure today to talk about our speaker, Suraj Bonagiri. He is the founder of Arka Aerospace and is a PhD from the Robotics Research Center at IIIT Hyderabad. He, with deep expertise in novel UAV mechanisms and control systems, Suraj actually leads Arka's mission to develop and deploy drone technologies, which are much in demand today for the military in demand. Arka is innovating actively, and today he's going to be talking about how innovation and technology in military, in otherwise, and outside in our world is going to really take us to the next level in terms of drone technology. Today, we also I would like to invite our head of startup, Rohit Batra, to kindly say a few words about Suraj, because Rohit has been actively working with Suraj. He's one of Arka is one of our IHFC incubated startup, and Rohit has been associated with him for a long time. So Rohit, handing over to you. So if you could quickly introduce Suraj a bit about your experience and about Arka Aerospace.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pia. So I am very pleased to introduce Mr. Suraj Bonagiri from Arka Aerospace. One of the very successful stories, of IHFC. I think in a very short duration, he has developed product that can be used, at various platforms. And he is very closely associated with defense, and he has done a lot of work with them. And without taking too much of time, I would like to introduce Suraj and request him to share his few thoughts. Over to you, Suraj.
Thanks, Rohit. Over to you, Suraj, sir.
Thank you, Piaji. Thank you, Rohit, sir, for the kind introduction. I'll just quickly share my screen.
The rest of them, please mute your microphones. So, except for Suraj, sir, we would not like to have any noise around. Kindly mute yourselves. Thank you. Yeah, we can see your screen, Suraj. You can go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Very good evening to everyone who has joined this session. So today I'll be just taking through very briefly on the kind of journey one could expect when you're starting off with developing products for our armed forces, right? So before that, a very brief introduction. We started off in IIIT Hyderabad whilst I was doing my PhD in robotics and control. The agenda has always been key develop tech for defense, but once it's developed for defense, we should also be able to spin off into commercial markets. That's the dual use uh, products that one needs to develop. And being in defense, it is very important that we develop indigenous products. Sometimes it's easier to take technology from off the shelf and build, but then during wars, it's the supply chains that get affected. So Atmanirbharta is one of the core values at Arka. We do try to uh, manage to stock up or design in-house so that when it comes to production during critical times, the products can be actually developed and create an impact at the critical times. The vision has been to become a world-class engineering powerhouse, ability to develop any kind of a UAV product with a mission to transform the impactful and strong R&D that's been going on across the country into products for the armed forces. So when it comes to drone warfare, right? I mean, recently the entire country has been under the threat, and we have absolutely and beautifully countered the drone warfare. But why drones, right? Let's discuss about that. Until World War II, until 2005, 2010, the only drones that we have known is the US drones, right? The big gray ones that can travel for 30 hours, conduct surveillance missions. But something around 2005, 2010 happened. That is the beauty of open source. Someone came up with open source software, open source hardware for drones, the flight controllers, the GPS and such. And suddenly the drone technology is now available to everyone. When I say everyone, it's for both friend and foe, right? Having a drone that can lift half kg or 1 kg payload, travel a couple of kilometers, can create more and more damage than having actually launching missiles or any other tasks, right? It's not just for offensive operations. I'll take another example here. Whenever a fighter aircraft has to take off from a runway, the very first thing they do is not prepare the aircraft, but prepare the runway itself. There could be the small pebbles, nuts and bolts lying on the runway. Now, when an aircraft engine's soaring across the runway, it creates a lot of suction power, and these small pebbles could get sucked into the engine. And we all know once a small foreign object enters the engine, it damages the entire engine, and hence the operation has been shut down. We cannot use that aircraft anymore, right? So currently the method used for clearing these foreign object debris, the FODs, is a group of 10 to 20 people walked along the runway for 3 kilometers, and they visually search for these pebbles, collect them, put it in their pockets, and that's how they clean the operating surface. Now imagine during critical times, doing this operation will essentially delay the launch of the aircraft, which is bad. So that is when we had this Indian Air Force has launched Meher Baba Swarm Challenge. Essentially, a swarm of drones must enter the runway, search or scan the entire surface, and report if there's any foreign object debris. So this task normally would take 2 hours, which was now scaled down to 15 minutes. So drones in warfare doesn't essentially mean just offensive operations, but also it optimizes ongoing operations. What was done manually, right? It does make it faster. So faster, cheaper, and safer. This is what the drone technology brings, right? Uh, just like how the invention of gunpowder took place, then changed the entire course of warfare. And before that, it's the bows and arrows. So this is the kind of change one could expect with drones being entered into the warfare. Secondly is the asymmetric warfare. So what I meant by asymmetric is a sense of cost. There's $1 million missiles and there's a $10,000 drones. Both can create the same kind of damage the enemy. So just by sending a swarm of 100 drones, you can create more damage than sending one or two missiles, which is much cheaper. And when it comes to wars, it's all about cost. You run out of the cost first.
Sir, voice is not coming.
So, Suraj, we can't hear you. I think your voice is, you've muted yourself.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, now it's fine. We can hear you now.
Right. Was it from the beginning, or could you please explain?
And no, I think one slide up.
No, sir, just now when you were
Yeah,
explaining that many drone can do the same amount of damage, that's fine.
Okay, noted. Yes. Yeah, so these are just hobby grade drones that we have developed, a fleet of 50. If we can, the enemy can. And what is stopping us from avoiding that attack on us? So swarms of cheap drones are much more dangerous than a country with long range missiles, right? So essentially, the future warfares are won with whoever owns low cost, high volume drone productions, which are shielded nicely inside a bunker, so enemy missiles cannot penetrate it. And just by printing 100, 200 drones every day, we can saturate the enemy essentially. So what this is the kind of drone warfare that is expected. Now, what can we do, or what if the enemy is doing it? What can we do, or if we are doing, what can the enemy do? That is where the counter drone warfare comes in. Now, when it comes to counter drone warfare, we have seen these red color. I mean, we all must have seen these videos where these red color dots were flying across the country whenever there's a drone coming in from the enemy. So those were actually anti-aircraft guns. We were shooting at them so that those munitions go explode in the vicinity and destroy the incoming drone, right? So this is the kind of technology that was used for anti-aircraft operations, which is also being adopted here. But the fact remains, key, it's all about costs. So if an enemy is sending drones that cost $1,000, we should our counter offensive should also be below $1,000. So having this kind of effects with this kind of counter effects is quite important in designing a counter drone tech. Within counter drones, we have multiple layers. One was soft kill systems, which essentially are jammers. So if enemy is operating with a radio control, you jam the radio control and they will not be able to operate it. And then let's say there is an autonomous mission. You jam the GPS and it cannot use the GPS. Now the enemy has decided to use something else that doesn't need GPS. So that is when hard kill comes in, right? Now you either fire guns at them, you either fire micro missiles, or you yourself send another drone with an explosive below it and detonate in its vicinity. Moving forward, then we would send swarms of drones. Now, again, you sending swarm of drones would be again an expensive operation. So that is where you have lasers. That's where you have micro EMPs, electromagnetic pulses that fries the electronics. So it's a cat and mouse game, right? And then not same technology can be used everywhere, because let's take an example of again the runway. If enemy has sent a drone and we took it out with a missile, it's not that we have one, it's enemy has one, because the debris is on the runway and we cannot use the runway, right? So that's where you need net catcher drones. These, right? So here's very small, brief video of what we have developed.
Suraj, your voice is gone again. Suraj, your voice.
Yes.
Your voice again had disappeared for a second.
No, I was just playing the
you're
video.
not speaking. Okay.
Yes, yes.
But there's no voice in the video. There's no audio.
No, there's no audio on the video.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Right. So the tech that we developed here is called a net catcher solution. Essentially, our drone would go in the vicinity of the enemy drone. As the name explains, throws a net to catch it, and then it takes it to a very safe location and disposes it off. This way, there are certain advantages apart from not creating debris on the ground. You can run forensics on the electronics that has been captured and understand their supply chains, understand where it has been launched and such. You could also pull fingerprints of the drones. All of these will help develop a case which can be presented to UN, which is quite important in terms of warfare. So in this video, you can see the systems that is captured is not taken to a safe location, and we just land it and dispose it off. So the more the autonomous, the better, because when it comes to wartime or any operations, people are scattered. They have a lot of work to do. And developing technology and again requiring heavy training, which also acts as a negative thing. So in our case, we have a EO, IR, and radar based sensors on the drone itself that has a very clear picture of what is happening. And then autonomous algorithms that are generated by these plane trajectories intercept the target in the most optimal fashion, and then net launcher for the interception. So this is only one layer. The other layers, as I mentioned, could be lasers, micro missiles, jammers. So having such layered defense approach protects the vital areas and vital persons from incoming threats. Right. So this right. So and if you're planning a defense drone startup, my suggestions would be on five aspects. The four are here. But then it needs to operate in ruggedized environments. Like if it's raining and still the mission should not be compromised, right? Or if it's heavy dust is there. So you need to develop an IP68 systems. And let's say enemy has switched on the jammers, right? So our GPS and RC links will not work. And still your drone should be able to complete its mission. So to develop a mil-spec UAV, it has to go through intense testing and evaluations. The first step of developing the functionality is quite easy, but then it all boils down to the further steps in developing a mil-spec UAV. Secondly, it's the team. Now, whatever product that we're developing, it essentially burns your team out. It's very, very, very intense procedure, because the number of ways a certain system can fail comes out when you're performing intense testing. So the morale naturally goes down. So as a founder, it's your duty to keep the morale up of the team. But also it comes with the priority of safety. You're dealing with explosives, you're dealing outdoors in remote environments. So having PP kit, first aid kits, fire extinguisher, I mean, it's a whole agenda. First, you need to secure your team. Secondly, they need to follow procedures. There's a procedure for everything, right? If you want to purchase something, you want to delegate a task to somebody, you need to have an extremely disciplined SOPs. This will make the R&D and the testing process much easier, or else most of your bandwidth would go end up just managing the team. So that's the team aspect. Thirdly, you're not alone. There are agencies from Indian government that would love to support your defense product development. It's not just defense drone startup, it's any kind of defense product. So one of them is IDEX, that's from Ministry of Defense. Other one is TDF, Technology Development Fund from DRDO. If you do have ideas or they themselves have certain problem statements on all the time, you can apply, and the things can, they do fund 50% of the entire development. So that's one very good way.
Suraj, suddenly gone blank, I think. I think Suraj, you need to rejoin because the video is gone, the audio is gone. I can't seem to see or hear anything. I think you got disconnected. Suraj, are you trying to rejoin again with your video? There seems to be some technical glitch. We seem to have dropped Suraj's line. I'll just call him. Let me see. Suraj, we cannot see anything or hear anything. I think, yeah, let me see if he's joined again. Suraj, have you managed to join in again? We seem to have lost your audio and video, Suraj. Can you call him? मेरा फोन तो चल रहा है.
It might be network issue.
One second, guys. I'll just try and call him and see as to what has happened to his network. Has Suraj, are you being able to rejoin? No, he seems to be having a glitch. One second. There's some problem in his connectivity because he may not be able to get him on the phone as well. We're trying. Just 1 second. Thank you for your patience. I think there's a network issue at his end because he can't seem to be seeing our calls. Just 1 second. We are still trying. I think there is some issue with the network. We just can't seem to reach him. 1 second. We're still trying to get him online. There's some internet issue. That's what he's telling us from his side. He's unable to connect. Just 1 second. We're still trying speaking with him. Hi, you've joined back, Suraj?
Yes. My sincere apologies because bad internet.
Okay, guys, our star speaker is back. Okay, over to you, Suraj, again.
Yeah. So I think this was the slide where I lost the connection. But essentially, as a defense startup, these are the 4 points that needs to be your strong pillars. Products come, products go, but what remains same is the team, infra, manufacturing, and collaborations with the latest technology. So this is what helps you establish long-term, 30 years over the line defense firm, right? And these are my 2 cents or my conclusion of the presentation. Essentially, when you're building product, it will happen, it will go through a lot of iterations. So it's very important that you put very minimal effort and also aim for maximal output. So what is that one small thing that you do gives you larger output, right? Developing a product, there could be 5 different things we have to do, but each one we engineers essentially assign equal priority to those 5 things. But in reality, is the first thing that gives you 50% of the output that is required. Second thing gives you another 30%. So just by identifying which are the important factors, putting energy there gives you 80% of the product that is required. So this comes under the planning and the execution aspects. Secondly, as a team or a group of engineers, right? The difference between a team and a group of engineers is the communication, right? I mean, you must have seen some people, they don't even need verbal ways of communicating, just a head nod and understand what needs to be done, right? I mean, that is something that one has to aim at. But that happens if you are clearly and precisely communicating your ideas, and that is when you can build really good products. Thirdly, when it comes to developing a product, a user has a certain picture defined in his head, and it's our responsibility. We identify that requirement and build it to their requirement. The whoever does that fast in less number of iterations can push the product and become the first in the market. And once you're first in the market, you would be the preferred. Everyone is just a follower, right? In terms of war, the war could even end before you launch the product. So it's very, very important that your output matches the user in very less number of iterations. Fourthly, when you're developing a product, it's all about testing, 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 right? You don't want your brand or a product with your brand to fail in the field. So you have to replicate scenarios, you have to replicate the environment exactly how the user would use. And the best way of doing is with live with the user, test with the user, and use it like the user. That will give out all the bugs, and you have a good engineering team that will fix the bugs, and that's how you establish a good product. Moving on, what happens is that you have to figure out the technology, the R&D and aspects. Now it's all about getting components from outside and entering production. These things could be very tricky because developing one prototype is simple. It's a technology game. But developing 100 such products is not a technology game. It's a supply chain and a production. So this is something that sneaks up on you even before you get a warning. So this is something that you need to be aware of. And that would be the conclusion of my presentation. I'm happy to take any queries and address them. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was nice and short and crisp. We have left some time for question and answers. So if anybody of you have question and answers, please raise your hand and we shall allow you to ask your questions. I think Aditya, do you have a question to ask? Aditya Singh? Aditya Singh, do you have a question to ask? Okay, I can't seem to make out if he does. Ahirao? Okay, hands raised. Let me just see. Yeah, just Lakshmi? Rashmi. Oh, Rashmi Tripathi. Rashmi, can you ask your question? Can you hear me? Can you ask your question, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
Sorry. Actually, I'm not able to ask right now because I'm driving. Sorry.
Oh, okay. But do you have a question that you would? Do you have framed which you can put in the chat box later? Okay, so Rashmi seems to be driving. Anybody else who has a question for Suraj? Tanmay? Tanmay, can you please? Rashmi, can you just mute your phone, please? Okay. Shri Takshir. Sorry. Rashmi? I think Rashmi has gotten herself into trouble while driving, it looks. Okay. Anybody else? No, nobody has a question. Okay, I think. Oh, Tanmay Pal. I think Tanmay Pal has a question. Tanmay Pal, do you have a question? Also, Shubham Verma. Shubham, yes, yeah. Whoever wants to ask, please go ahead.
Sir, can you tell us about your journey? I joined little late, so what you do and what you like. How do you join with military and defense? It would be good, great for us.
Sure. So it started with one of the theses that I was working on that was submitted to the IDEX. I'll just even type the IDEX website here. So IDEX is just essentially Section 8 firm created by Ministry of Defense to fund and support defense product development in the country. Right. So as part of it, we did apply to certain challenges, and that was the beginning of the journey into defense products. In that time, we did come across various people, understand how the defense acquisition works, using with the testing with the users, And when you talk to users, they do explain what problems they're facing. And right. And drones is something that has been, been quite a effective solution across wide range of problems. It's not just drones, like you need to also append a technology like swarming technology or thermal imagery sensors, it could be radars. So a combination of these technologies and fitting with the what the user wants, that has been our entry into defense products.
So what was your first product or robot like for this defense?
The very first one was counter drone, essentially a drone that can intercept incoming threats and neutralize them with a net catcher that is fixed below the drone. That was our first, that was with Indian Air Force. That is about to be completed, and that is our very first project.
Mm.
Anybody else? I
Is
think we
it
have.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
yes.
go ahead, Joe. Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
sir, is it
Uh,
necessary to no? Is it compulsory to fulfill the IDEX that I know that IDEX have some tasks or that you were mentioning some points that we have to challenges, huh? Challenges that we have to see and out make solution for that. Like, is it compulsory to complete that challenges, or if I or somebody have an idea like prototype, they can you just go connect with IDEX, like I don't know how, but is it there any way to
So
fix
IDEX
your
also
idea?
has something called as a open challenge. So we are part
Okay.
of three IDEX challenges. Only one was the problem statement given by the user. Other two was something that we have proposed. And they did find, yes, this will solve the issue. So they even awarded us contracts to develop them. IDEX also has the platform. Yes.
Okay, so sir, how to apply for that, like how to go for that?
So on the chat, I have posted the link, idex.gov.in. Once you open it, there is something called a challenges section that has a brief summaries of various challenges or even the open challenge. You can apply it there. You have to essentially develop a presentation, fill in some details, and you will be hearing back from them.
Great. Also, I think we have some questions in the chat. And also,
Yeah,
Suraj, do put in your LinkedIn ID and your email ID on the chat in the chat box so that people can get in
sure.
touch with you and connect with you. There is 1 second. There's somebody called Meher Raj. Do you wish to ask a question? Meher Raj? No. Okay. There's a question. What is the usual cost of making this drone?
Okay, drones, it all comes down to the application, right? Drone would be the chassis, motors, and the avionics. But then if it's carrying a radar, the cost would be, in 7 digits, 8 digits. Or if it's just a surveillance drone, you need a thermal sensor. So the cost could be from lakhs to crores. It really boils down to the application and the kind of sensors that you're using. And when you're costing it for the defense, it's not just for the hardware and manpower. You should also consider maintenance. Usually there'll be 3 year, 5 year maintenance contracts. You should also stock up spares, to purchase and actually stock them up, right? And then there'll be transport fees, and then there'll be certification costs, which essentially you have to pay external laboratories to get the certifications. So just to use it for an hour, they charge you sometimes 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs. So all of these costs included, the defense drones would be on a higher end rather than commercial drones that we usually see.
okay,
Okay.
so they are primarily dependent on the sensors, what sensors you are using, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think there's still a raised hand from Mehraj. Mehraj, if you have a question, please do ask. Okay, if not, I'll.
If it's a question that's on the chat, probably has a microphone issue. But yes,
Yeah, I
flight
think.
controllers in general, we do use the PICSOC based in the initial stages, and as and when we move on, there are higher end flight controllers that are from US. So we do not end up building our own flight controllers because that itself is a different product. But when it comes to building drones that has to operate with manned aircrafts, so this is called manned unmanned teaming. In that place, you have to develop your own flight controllers from scratch because, as per Semilac, it needs to be FPGA based systems. And if you're preparing something, it needs to be certified from the very beginning. So, Semilac is when your drone is either weight is either above 100 kgs or it's being operated with manned aircrafts. You need to get this Semilac certification. In that case, you have to build your own flight controllers.
Any other question? Okay, so if there's no other question, so what you can do, Suraj, I can see that I think people have got questions, is that I don't think they can ask all of them right away. So besides sharing your LinkedIn ID, you can probably share your email ID as well with them, and for
Sure.
them to be in touch with you. And I think some of them already sent you LinkedIn requests to connect with them. So you can probably help them answer the queries regarding the drone technology. If there are no more questions, then I would now request the team to kindly share the Cobotalks voucher. Yeah, so Rachel, you can, yeah. Okay, there's one more question, I think. Meher Raj is asking a question. Um, we are early stage in rescue operation. What FC would you suggest? We are high school students currently working on it. Your
Yeah,
answer to
Cube
that
Orange.
Cube Orange.
Just go with Cube Orange. That's good enough.
Okay, I hope that answers your question. Anything else? Anybody else would like to go ahead and ask? No? Okay. So Suraj, I would really like to present you with a Springer voucher worth 150 euros. So obviously, this is something that IHFC is gifting to you because of your valuable time and your valuable, all the things that you have shared. We are very, very grateful that you took out this time to share with us your expertise. And for that, we would like to present to you with this 150 euro of gift voucher from Springer. So please, you can actually redeem it for any academic books or anything from Springer and use it for your benefit.
Thank you very much. And to people who are in the chat here, if you intend to develop any kind of drone product, it could be for projects or defense related, you can always email me. I put email and my LinkedIn. Wherever I can give some guidance, some help, happy to share.
Yeah, so I think Suraj has already shared his ID, and this PPT, we will ask Suraj to share with us. And what we can do is that we will put it up on our website under his, where the Cobotalks talk is presented today on our website, and you can access it from there. So that's what we're going to do for his presentation, which I can see is much in demand. He's already put up his LinkedIn ID as well as his email ID, which is suraj@arkaaerospace.com. So please feel free to reach out to him. And the PPT will be soon on the website. Also, there will be this talk will also be recorded. So if you have any query, you can reach out to IHFC at any given point of time. I think my colleague Akshay has already shared our IHFC website link ahead. All right. So with that, I thank you so much, Suraj. That was really wonderful and so insightful. And coming at such a critical time like this, it really gives us a great insight as to what is going on in the world of military defense technology and where we are and where we stand and where we need to be in the future. And there's so many young people who have joined this session today to understand as to how they can develop and contribute to their country. So I'm sure it's a fantastic work that you're doing, and I'm sure you've inspired many. So thank you so much. And with that, I would like to end today's Cobotalks. And until the next time, thank you everyone, and I shall soon be seeing all of you again. All right. So thank you.
Thank you, PSG.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay, everybody. Thank you and good night.